Welcome to the Vietnamese dungeon tucked away in the corners of New York City. On the ground level, you'll find what seems like a chic and modern Vietnamese restaurant. But just underneath, if you're lucky enough, you'll be seated in the secret underground dungeon. This was hands down one of the most surreal eating experiences I've had in New York City. It was like I entered a whole new world down there, and it was awesome. I somehow felt cozy, like I was at an auntie's house. Maybe because the broth was cooking right next to the coat rack, which was definitely a head scratcher because is that allowed? I mean, the place was super clean, so I wasn't too worried, and everybody seemed to be on the same page, which was good vibes. There were less than 10 items on the menu, which was a good sign that whatever they were serving was gonna be good. To start off with, we got a dish we've never tried before, because, well, it's not a very common dish. Snails. Stuffed snails. Not gonna lie, when I saw the pictures of these on the restaurant reviews, I was pretty turned off by it. But when you're seated in a tiny stool in an intimate space surrounded by good vibes, it's hard not to get caught up in the experience and to just send it. This was my second time eating snails, the first time being in France. And let me tell you, these snails were pretty good. Just tasted like chicken or pork meatballs. You wouldn't even be able to tell that these were snails if they hadn't come in the shells. It was soft, surprisingly light, and there was a slight bounce when you bit into it. When dipped in their subtle fish sauce concoction, it gave you all the flavors of tangy, hearty, and savory. For the other starter, we got this leaf wrapped in rice noodles wrapped in more leaf. It was refreshing, and it was the perfect way to transition to their pho. Now to the main character. I've never had pho broth like this before. The depth of flavor was deeper than the trenches of Ryan Reynolds' lawsuit. You could taste that this broth had been boiled for hours on end, perhaps in this very same basement. I didn't even notice this till I was editing this video, but the pho didn't even come with limes. Nor was I even searching for them at the time. I think they take so much pride in their broth that they don't even give it to you. The different cuts of beef were soft and tender, and the thick and flat noodles were perfectly cooked. Each slurp from the chip bowl was as comforting and wholesome as the basement I was in. From the presentation of the snails to the rich broth of the pho, everything was a new and exciting experience. I do think the portion should be bigger for the price, but if we're talking purely flavor, this place hit it out of the park. This right here was the perfect night out in New York City, and I'm glad I got to experience this during this brutal winter season.